Andrew Drum started Drum Farms 100 years ago, and I would imagine that if he saw it today, that he'd be really proud of what the organization has become and the direction that it's taken, really showing children an alternative to a better life than they've experienced in the past, both from the standpoint of loving families and a commitment to work and a commitment to one another and really love within that mix. You know, my hope, and I would imagine his, would be that the next 100 years would reflect continued growth and a commitment to the community to serve those kids that are in need. I'm Pete Anderson, one of the board of directors of Drum Farm. Been on the board since 2018, and prior to that involved with the organization for about 10 years. The most important things to me are really faith, family, friends, and I think the real opportunity that I see with Drum is, especially if you're not introduced to those aspects in your life, or you've been introduced to it, but you've really been shown that you can't trust it, that this organization really shows you that family and love and commitment to one another, it makes a real difference in your life. I had really loving mother and father, but my dad was an alcoholic. And on top of that, he was a workaholic too, which is really unique. From a real family perspective, was pretty dysfunctional. I went to, I think by the time I got into my sophomore year in high school, I'd gone to 11 different schools. And so there was just a lot of turmoil through basically growing up. Really, I think I give a lot of credit to my wife, Elizabeth. I met her when I was 15 years old. And they showed me that side of the world that I had not really seen. And she and her family really, I would say, saved me. And they did that by really showing me what life could be beyond the turmoil and the constant anxiety and everything that goes along with addiction and all the turmoil that causes in a family. And it turned me around, and it really showed me what a future could be and something that you could commit to.
My name is Shaquan Carter, and I am a board member here at Drum, and I am also a former Compass resident from 2014 to 2017. I basically had like a big temper tantrum at my mom's house, and when I was 17 years old, and she kicked me out, told me not to come back. And I was walking along the road, and a lady from church saw me, took me in for the night, and then the next day I went to school and got sent to a homeless shelter for a month, and then another homeless shelter for about a week. I was 17 when I came to Drum. I graduated from high school when I was 18 years old, and I moved out and got my own apartment when I was 20 years old. The Compass program taught me how to save money and manage money and get out and live on my own, learn how to survive. It helped me get a car and a job that I worked for about 2.5 years. And then I got my CDL, and now I'm a truck driver. I still have that first car. It was kind of frustrating throughout the years because I actually had to finance it and trying to keep up. It was making sure I made those payments on time and trying to take care of it at the same time. And it still gets me to point A to point B, even though it's kind of raggedy. But I had something to call mine, and I think that was what I liked the most.
We had a group of the Compass kids come down to we've got a farm down by Clinton, Missouri. And we had a group of them come down there to the farm, and it was just a great day. We had them basically fishing, shooting bows and arrows, riding four-wheelers, taking hikes through the woods, you know, just all the outdoor things that we could think of. And when the kids and young adults basically all got there, Brittany, one of the young gals that's in the Compass program, or she was at that time, that's been about 3 or 4 years ago, that we had that event with them, she got out of the car that day and walked up to my wife Elizabeth and said, "I hate the outdoors." So that was kind of the beginning of the day, and by the end of the day, Brittany basically wanted to know when we were going to have the next one, and just had a great time. And she had fingernails. Brittany had fingernails about 3 inches long, I think. And when she was shooting the bow, basically the archery event, one of the guys, a buddy of mine, was helping kind of instruct the kids and stuff. And Thomas kept trying to get her to do it the way he thought it ought to be done. Well, she was a really good shot. You know, in fact, I think she was the second best out of the group. And finally she told him, "Hey, look, I got this, so just leave me alone." The funny thing at the end of that day was, and we gave them all a Bass Pro gift card, and I expected them to all go buy fishing or hunting stuff, and one of the young gals told me, "Not a chance." but we had a really great time with them.
So my goals for the children here at Drum is for them to have a sense of feeling loved and belonging here, helping them build relationships. I think it's important because it could probably help them succeed in life, mentally and emotionally. I definitely felt like I was a different person after I left, because when I first got here, I was a pain in the behind. I had a bad temper, and I was very moody, didn't like to be bothered with everybody. And I've kind of improved that after I left. I'm still working on it.
The core values that I think that the Drum Farm tries to instill in the kids is the most important, and the more that we can show them that there are better opportunities than what I've seen in my family or historically in my family, that it's really a matter of believing in yourself and committing to really a better life. And I think by expanding that here with more houses, more capacity, those kind of things, that's part of my hope. I think the Compass program is a great program. It shows, you know, number one, it shows that you have confidence in that young adult. You know, it helps them find employment going forward, helps them recognize that, hey, I have value, I can bring that to the table, and if I bring effort along with that, I can do about anything. And I think, I hope we can expand that as well and just continue to grow the capacity of the organization.
So Drum is very fortunate to have Pete and Shaquan as board members, and all of the board members at Drum are just incredible people that provide wonderful leadership to our organization. These board members come from all walks of life, and the one really important thing that ties us all together is that we've all experienced struggle. We've all experienced hardship, and while that hardship isn't the same, it isn't necessarily equal, we've all had a need for a community of people to wrap around us and help us through those times that might have been, and in most cases was, the reason we sit where we are today. We are in the places we are because people stood in the gap with us. They were there for us, and they helped us through some of the most difficult times in our lives. It is important for us to know that that is where Drum comes into the picture. That is why we exist, is to be that group of people that surround and walk alongside and with others that are in that place, with children, with young adults who need that extra support to get past a extremely difficult and challenging hardship in their life. And on the other side of that is their hopes and dreams. And it's our goal to be that bridge to connect them, to plant that seed, right? To get them to blossom into the human being they were meant to be. Just in the last year alone, we've had over 600 applications for young people applying for our Compass program. Many of those young adults are even teen parents who have children in their lives they're trying to now care for while they try to gain stability themselves. And Drum is seeking to move into that arena to support those young people and their children to gain that stable, healthy adulthood life that they deserve and that they need, and to be that support network for them to get them there. But this is a huge undertaking. our donors and our supporters will be vital in helping us build that structure to be able to successfully offer that type of support to those young people.